Clash of Clans' meta at high ranks has gotten way more diverse recently, and honestly, it's kinda refreshing. With the recent Town Hall 18 update, Supercell finally put upgrade levels into troops that actually needed the help, instead of just buffing the same units over and over again. This update greatly shifted things around in a good direction, and the funniest part, it didn't come from some giant buff or some controversial nerf. It came from simply not creating new levels for the troops that were already dominating. Low-key, one of the smartest ways Supercell has balanced the meta in a long time. So in today's video, we're gonna take a deep dive into how Supercell is making better efforts to balance their game in the competitive scene, while also introducing a great diversity, so that way we don't see the same two attacks every single time. Chapter 1. Meta diversity is back. This means Clash of Clans is finally feeling less predictable and redundant at higher trophies. We used to be seeing nothing but Root Riders and Dragon spam at Town Hall 18, but with the recent troop levels, we're seeing Super Bowlers, P.E.K.K.A.s, Throwers, and Smash Comps rising straight to the top. And that doesn't mean that the other troops are unviable or bad. They can still be used, but it just opened the meta to what else is possible. And this is very good for the game because we're not going to just see the same two attack strategies every time. Because variety makes attacks way more entertaining and competitive, because ultimately that's what you need inside your game to keep players competitive. And it's way healthier for the game long term because the meta keeps rotating and it's not just staying stagnant. Because your attacks in your 3 stars need to feel rewarding and earned, which is why they added the modifiers to make it even more competitive. More on that later, but it finally feels like a strategy game again, and every victory feels earned at the high levels. Chapter 2. Balance through selective upgrades. Supercell didn't buff everything, they buffed the right things. By giving levels to all the older troops or ones that were struggling, they not only revitalized them, but balanced out the ones that were already dominating. So the only troops that needed help got the new levels, and the dominant troops got a little ignored with their new level being withheld. But that doesn't say that those old troops are trash or unviable. No one's favorite unit was nerfed into the ground, so they avoided community outrage and nobody is getting angry over it. And it's very smart by Supercell because the community feels like they gained new options instead of losing them. And that's ultimately how you want to balance a game like Clash of Clans. Not making any troops crap, but just giving players a slight nudge into a different direction. And it's the first update in a while where the comment section wasn't a complete war zone. The only thing players were concerned about was the design of the walls and like the guardians. That was pretty much it. Players can still use their old army comps, but now new ones can compete as well. And that is balance without making everybody tear up. Chapter 3. Ranked mode is actually competitive now. Finally, the community has been asking for this for over 3 years. Limited event troops and spells are now banned from ranked. This was a gigantic problem in the running years of Legends League and high pushing. You see it every time in the comments section, even when the WWE event troops are out. Everybody was just like, bam, another Legends League season ruined. And I can understand the frustration from those players. While I myself was never like a hardcore top Legends grinder, I can only imagine how skillless and unearned it felt watching your base get slammed by disarmers and lava loons. So this completely cut off the seasonal troop nonsense, which was breaking the meta. Because nowadays you win off your fundamentals, not temporary gimmicks, which is a very healthy thing I feel like they're doing for the game. With them also introducing battle modifiers as you climb the ranks, every win feels earned, and when you fall short, you learn from your experiences and change something inside of your army. So it is way more fair for people who grind and practice the game. Players can plan consistent strategies without completely being blindsided by Supercell. So I definitely think ranked Clash of Clans is in its prime. Chapter 4. Climbing is easier and more motivating. Before last month's changes, players were very concerned about their defenses getting completely destroyed, promotions being very hard to achieve, and it feeling more luck-based than skill-based. But worry not, they made promotions scale differently to where promotion zones are easier to get at the lower levels and harder to get at the higher levels, basically showing that there's way less room for error if you want to be competitive at the high levels and more room for error at the lower levels. I myself experienced a bit of this struggle where I was stuck in Dragon even though I was competing very well, getting my 3 stars, but my defenses did worse than other people's. I am not rushed by any means, I was just getting absolutely crushed, and other people's defenses were doing better. So I was barely unable to not crack into the top 10, and it felt like all the hard work of my attacks was all for naught, because ultimately I lost on defense and somebody else's defense did better, and they got the same amount of trophies as me on offense. And this led to defense just feeling extremely luck based on if you get 3-starred a whole bunch, you're basically not going to promote. So I definitely love that they changed it to widen the promotion zones, making it easier for you to get your foot in the door. And it's way more motivating because if you play well, you move. And it's that simple. And this ties into longevity. More motivated players doing their ranked attacks constantly means a healthier game and a more devout fan base. So I love that they made every attack matter. And you can tell Supercell is actually listening to us. And if you're still here, it would mean the world to me if you guys hit the like button and subscribe, and also comment down below what your thoughts are on Clash of Clans' recent updates, and just give them a round of applause for doing such a great job recently. Use code JACOB.